So today I was thinking and want to talk to you about how mapping out your business around one thing, the customer saying yes, is incredibly important, very vital for your business. And if we haven't met before, hi, my name is Adam and I own a small home service business here in North Dallas. And for the past 5 years, I've been working on getting that business from a startup all the way to $1 million business. And along the way, I've run into issues and problems and almost sunk the business a couple times. It wasn't until recently that I've been able to implement a few key things into the business that has helped it grow and scale and be able to run on its own. And so I'm able to step out of the business and only work a few hours a day. So in this video, I want to go over one of those key things that I implemented that was a complete game changer for my business. And that is building your business around the customer and what makes the customer say yes. So imagine your business, you have employees in place, you've got um, systems, SOPs, you've got all sorts of stuff. But the thing is, in my business, I didn't realize I was not building my business around making sure that the customer journey was very fluid, that it flowed really well. And one of the things to be able to do this is knowing why the customer says yes. So the first thing that I want to talk about right now is, why does the customer say yes throughout the entirety of the process in your business machine? So let's say the customer is right here and they see an ad. See an ad. Why? So let's say, why do they say yes to the next step? So they're going to go here. The next step, let's say, is calling or filling out a form. So why do they say yes? And so what you'll need to do is fill out the reasons why they say yes. And then calling and filling out a form. Let's say they called and the next stage is getting scheduled. Well, why would they want to get scheduled? What about what you said or what the process is, what the customer wants, makes them to want to say yes to being scheduled? Now, think about this in your business and fill this information out. So, now that they're scheduled for an appointment, the next thing is probably having a sales rep come out. So, a sales appointment. So, the idea is to have them purchase. So, why would they say yes to purchasing? Okay. And, oops, wrong color. And then once they purchase, let's say referrals or repeat business. So, the idea of this exercise and building your business around this is, let's just say, calling into your business. There's a lot of people that they like to fill out the form, but they'd rather jump on a call. And you realize that to be scheduled, a lot of people say yes when jumping on a call, because the things that the person says on the phone makes it so the customer feels validated, or maybe that it's the right product. So let's say we do calling, and let's say part of it is the script of saying certain things. So that's what helps the customer say yes. And then let's say being scheduled to get the sales appointment, what keeps them from jumping ship and going to another company now that they're scheduled? Like, so let's say there's some automations, and now over here with the sales appointment, like, why do they purchase? And maybe they purchased because it was an in-person quote, or maybe the quote was given at the appointment. Or maybe there was a sales presentation. Or maybe they purchased because they were referred and they really like your referral program. So let's say that. Whatever it is, if you can repeat this process to get people from the beginning to end. So let's say we have 100 people that we put through here, 100 customers, or I guess 100 leads. If we get 100 leads, how can we help guaranteed that there is a high probability of a lot of yeses? So how do we get a lot of yeses? Okay. And then you make sure that you have the people in place. So let's say we have, maybe this is a CRM, this is a person, this is a person, and this might be a CRM. How do you put those in place and then what they're doing in place to continue to make it so you get all these yeses? So let's say you get a no. Let's see, I don't have a different color. So let's say you get a no. And the no is that they call in and they're not interested. So they not interested in getting scheduled. So how come? Why are they not interested? And then how can you get it so this doesn't happen very often and you can reduce the amount of no's that happen so we could have more yeses? And if the no happens, what happens for them to go up and get a yes? So how to turn into a yes? And then you'll do this every step of the way. So this is a no, and why? And then how do we have it go back up? And then let's say they don't want to purchase it. So that's a no. Don't want to buy. No, don't want to buy. And why? So why does that happen? So we can help reduce the amount of no's that we have and then get them back up to saying yes. Hopefully this makes sense. And the reason why it's such a key thing for your business is I, before I built my business just recently off of this, I kind of just thought that customers would come through and just decided to get the work done or go throughout this whole sales process, this whole customer journey. But it wasn't until I sat down with my employees and asked them, well, why do they get scheduled or why do they not get scheduled? Why do they buy or purchase and why don't they? That we were able to figure out a few things, and then we made it so that that thing happened every single time. So if we had 100 leads come in, that we knew that we were doing the things each and every time along the way, so that increased the chances of yeses for every single lead. And if they said no, they're not interested, then we could either prevent those no's from happening so much, reduce the amount of no's, or we could turn those no's back into yeses or into maybes. Hopefully this was helpful for you. And if you need help or want to learn a little bit more about this information and have our help, then click on the link below and it will take you to that information. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.